Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are from Group 3. We would like to present about inflation issues in Turkey. Let's start our presentation with the introduction about the concept of inflation. What is inflation? Inflation is a fundamental economic concept that refers to the sustained increase in the overall price level of goods and services within economic during given time period. It shows the loss of purchasing powers and can have profound impact for individuals, business, and the overall economy. It is measured using indices such as the Consumer Price Index (CPI) or Producer Price Index (PPI), and is influenced by factors like demand pull, cost push, and imported inflation. Types of inflation include mild inflation, creeping inflation, hyperinflation, and stagflation, each having varied economic impact. The objective of the report is to provide an overview of Turkey's geographical and demographic profile, examine inflation data for Turkey from 2013 to 2023 using tables and diagrams, analyze trends and identify key issues related to inflation in Turkey, discuss the effects of inflation on Turkey's economy, and evaluate monetary policy response to this challenge.
First, the Turkey's background. Province or district of Turkey. Turkey is a large peninsula that bridges the continents of Europe and Asia. It is the 37th largest country in the world. The name Turkey comes from the medieval Latin word Turcia, which means land of the Turks. Turkey is organized into 81 administrative provinces, which are further divided into 973 districts and is also classified into 7 geographical regions and 21 sub-regions for purpose of geography, demography, and economy. It is also surrounded by several prominent bodies of water, including the Mediterranean Sea, the Aegean Sea, and the Black Sea. Next, neighboring country. Turkey is a country that connects Asia and Europe, making it a very important place. It shares land borders with 8 countries. To the northwest, it borders Greece and Bulgaria. In the northeast, Turkey shares a border with Georgia. To the east, it is bordered by Armenia, Azerbaijan, Nakhchivan, and Iran. In the southeast, Turkey has borders with Iraq and Syria. Additionally, Turkey is surrounded by the Black Sea, the Aegean Sea, and the Mediterranean Sea, making it a geopolitically and commercially significant country. Next, we go to demographic information. As of December 2024, Turkey's population is estimated to be 87,575,145, accounting for approximately 1.07% of the global population. This makes Turkey the 18th most populous country in the world. Looking at birth rate, Turkey's birth rate is approximately 14.47 births per 1,000 people. This means that Turkey experiences about 1,285 birthdays per day. However, there has been a slight decline of 1.4% in the birth rate compared to the previous year, indicating a consistent decrease over recent years. However, Turkey's crude death rate is estimated at 5.625 deaths per 1,000 people. The country experienced approximately 1,529 deaths per day. Around 76.4% of Turkey's population live in urban areas, which amount to approximately 66,795,292 people in 2024. Now, let's talk about the gender distribution in Turkey. The population is fairly balanced with 49.91% males and 50.09% females. This means that there are approximately 43.66 million males and 43.81 million females in the country. Turkey has about 151,000 more females than males. This places Turkey at 153 in the world for the female to male ratio. Now we move to economic sector in Turkey. First is agriculture. Agriculture is a vital sector for Turkey, with the country being one of the world's top producers of hazelnut, cherries, apricot, and tobacco. These products are important both for domestic consumption and export. Second is manufacturing and industry. Manufacturing and industry are also crucial to Turkey's economy. The country excels in industries like automotive, textile, and electronic, producing goods such as vehicle, machinery, and home appliance. These industries are key drivers of both domestic growth and export. And lastly, services and tourism. Services, particularly tourism, play a significant role. Turkey's rich cultural heritage and beautiful landscape attract millions of visitors each year, contributing greatly to the economy through both revenue and employment. Each of these sectors plays an essential role in the country's overall economic success. Turkey's leader, Recep Tayyip Erdogan, is the President of the Republic of Turkey since 2014. Before that, he served as Prime Minister for more than 10 years. Erdogan is the founder of the Justice and Development Party, AKP, which has been a dominant force in Turkish politics. Under his leadership, Turkey experienced significant economic growth and infrastructure development. He is known for his strong leadership style, but his tenure has also sparked debate about issues like democracy and political freedoms in Turkey. Despite these controversies, Erdogan remains a central figure in the country's political landscape. He is a key figure who has had a lasting impact on Turkey's direction both domestically and internationally.
So this is table and diagram of inflation rate in Turkey for 10 years of 2013 to 2022. So as you guys can see in the table, the first year, which is 2013, the inflation rate of the year is 7.49%, and the annual change is 1.4% decrease from 2012. The second year is 2014. The inflation rate is 8.86%, and the annual change of the year is 1.37% increase from 2013. So for 2015, the inflation rate is 7.67%, and the annual change is 1.19% decrease from 2014. And for the year of 2016, the inflation rate is 7.78%, and the annual change of the year is 0.11% increase from 2015. So for the next year is 2017. The inflation rate of the year is 11.14%, and the annual change is 3.36% increase from 2016. The sixth year is 2018. The inflation rate of the year is 16.33%, and the annual change is 5.19% increase from 2017. For 2019, the inflation rate is 15.18%, and the annual change is 1.15% decrease from 2018. For 2020, the inflation rate of the year is 12.28%, and the annual change of the year is 2.90% increase from 2019. For 2021, the inflation rate is
19.60%, and the annual change is 7.32% increase from 2020. For 2022, the inflation rate of the year is 72.31%, and the annual change of the year is 52.71% increase from 2021, and for the last year is 2023. The inflation rate of the year is 53.86%, and the annual change of the year is 18.46% decrease from 2022. So as you guys can see, uh, the inflation increased continuously in 2016 to 2018 and decreased again until 2023.
Next, I will talk about analysis data of Turkey's inflation crisis, which is a decade of economic challenges in 2013 until 2023. In recent years, Turkey has found itself grappling with one of its most severe economic crises in modern history. Over the last decade, from 2020 until 2023, Turkey has faced skyrocketing inflation, currency depreciation, and rising cost of living, which have significantly impact business and the population at large. With inflation reaching unprecedented levels in 2022, this article takes a closer look at the driving factor behind the crisis and examines possible solutions. Next, we go to tracing the inflationary trends in 2030 until 2023. From 2013 to 2016, Turkey's inflation remained relatively stable, fluctuating between 7% and 10% annually. However, beginning in 2017, inflation started to climb as the country faced internal and external pressures. By 2021, inflation had reached alarming levels, peaking at over 18.5% in 2022. Several factors contribute to this rise, which is currency depreciation. It is the Turkish lira experienced significant devaluation, particularly from 2018 onwards. As the lira's value fell, the cost of imports, particularly energy, skyrocketed, pushing up prices across the economy. Next, we have government's interest rate policies, which is one of the key contributors to Turkey's inflation, was the government's reluctance to raise interest rates. While most economists use higher interest rates to curb the inflation, the President Erdogan took a different stance, arguing that high rates stifle growth. This unconventional approach backfired as lower interest rates led to more borrowing and spending that can exacerbating inflation. Lastly, we have the global economic shocks, which is, like many other economies, Turkey was hit hard by external shocks such as the COVID-19 pandemic and the Russia-Ukraine war. The pandemic disrupted global supply chains, that making it more expensive to import essential goods. Meanwhile, the Russia-Ukraine conflict caused global energy prices to spike, further straining Turkey's inflationary pressure. That's all from me.
So next, I will explain about the effects of inflation towards Turkey. The first effects of inflation towards Turkey is decreased purchasing power and standard of living. Inflation involves a sustained increase in the price of goods and services. This means that everyday items like bread, meat, and vegetables, as well as essential services such as transportation and education, become more expensive over time. As a result, people can buy less with the same amount of money and need to spend more to purchase the same goods and services as before inflation. Low and middle income groups are the most affected by inflation because a large portion of their income is spent on basic necessities like food, rent, and utilities. In Turkey, the government has implemented minimum wage hike to counter inflation. However, this increase often do not keep pace with the rising price of goods and services, causing people to lose purchasing power. This highlights how inflation can deeply impact people's daily life, especially those who are already struggling to make ends meet. Secondly, it also affects political and social instability. High inflation has a significant impact on public sentiment. When the price of essential goods and services increase sharply, citizens face severe financial pressure. As a result, they begin to lose trust in the government and the institutions responsible for managing the economy. This dissatisfaction often manifests in the form of protests where people gather to voice their frustration. To address inflation, the government is often forced to take measures like raising interest rates or imposing additional tax. While these actions are intended to stabilize the economy, they are usually unpopular with the public. This in turn reduces popular support for the ruling party, which may lead to leadership changes or even unplanned elections. Rise in poverty and unemployment is also the effect of inflation towards Turkey. Rising prices combined with stagnant income levels have pushed more people below the poverty line. For example, in 2023, the minimum wage in Turkey was increased to 8,506 Turkish lira. However, inflation quickly eroded the value of the increase, making it inadequate to cover the rising cost of goods and services. Inflation causes the cost of raw material, labor, and operation to rise. Small and medium-sized businesses, which often operate on thin profit margin, find it especially challenging to stay profitable. As a result, some companies are forced to reduce staff, while others are left with no choice but to close their operation entirely. The last effect is decrease in the value of lira. The Turkish lira has experienced considerable depreciation against major global currencies such as the US dollar, USD, and the euro, EUR. Weaker lira means goods purchased from abroad become more expensive when converted to Turkish lira. This places financial pressure on the people of Turkey as they need to spend more to buy imported items. These include essential goods such as raw material, electronic, and other products that are not produced in the country. Furthermore, this depreciation doesn't just stop at higher import costs. It also fuels domestic inflation. For example, domestic producers who rely on imported materials are forced to pay more due to the increased costs. To compensate, they rise the price of their own product. This creates a ripple effect leading to a general increase in the price of goods within the country. As a result, purchasing power will decrease.
I will briefly explain how Turkey overcome the problem of inflation using monetary policy. First is a tightening monetary policy. By raising interest rates, borrowing becomes more expensive and saving is encouraged. This slows economic activity and reduces inflationary pressure. However, consistency is crucial. Infrequent rate changes can destabilize market. A clear and steady approach builds trust and stability. Next is controlling the money supply. The central bank can reduce excess liquidity through open market operations, pulling surplus money out of circulations, and additionally, increasing reserve requirement for bank limit their ability to lend, slowing credit expansions and stabilizing prices. And the last one is address inflation expectation is vital. Setting clear inflation target and communicating them effectively anchor public trust. And public awareness campaign can also align expectations with the central bank's goal to preventing a self-reinforcing cycle of rising prices. And in summary, tackling inflation require a highest interest rates, control money supply, and well-managed expectations. And this that apply consistently can help Turkey achieve price stability. So now is other necessary and related information about inflation in Turkey. Inflation in Turkey is a persistent issue and fiscal policy is a key tool to address it alongside monetary measure. Let me highlight the main point. First, reducing government that spending help control inflation by lowering overall demands, and it's crucial to focus spending on productive investment like infrastructure to boost long-term growth and reduce supply issues. And second, increasing tax can curb excessive consumer demand. Raising consumption tax and adopting progressive taxations ensure fairness while stabilizing demand. However, must be taken to avoid overburdening low-income households. Third is fiscal discipline is essential. By running a balanced or surplus budget, the government avoid excessive borrowing, which can increase the money supply and fuel inflations. Finally, structural reform like supporting local industries and agriculture reduce reliance on import. This addresses cost push in inflation causes by exchange rate fluctuations. In short, its fiscal policy through spending, taxations, and reform was play a vital role in stabilizing inflations and fostering economic resilience in Turkey.
Okay, then lastly is recommendations, which is the implement strict monetary policy. So why? High inflation often the cause from excessive money supply and low interest rate which encourage borrowing and consumer spending. So how? By raising interest rate, the central bank of Turkey can lower demand access demands by making borrowing more costly, and use an inflation targeting policy to review public expectation and restore credibility. Secondly is reducing dependence on imports. So why? Turkey's heavy reliance on import, particularly energy and consumer goods, make its economy at risk of exchange rate volatility and external shocks. So how? Invest in local sector, especially manufacturing, agriculture and renewable energy. Then promote import substitution by producing currently import items locally. And then encourage import substitution by producing goods locally that are currently imported. The last one is public awareness and fiscal discipline. So while inflation also depends on public behavior such as overspending during time of high inflation, which make the issue more seriously. So how? Start public awareness initiative to promote saving and cut back on wasteful consumer spending. And last, the government should prioritize important service by minimize unnecessary spending and lower debt in order to maintain fiscal discipline. Turkey's inflation trends over the past decade highlight serious issues that need to be addressed right away. Inflation has reached dangerous level, affecting the economy and the life of individuals due to combination of internal problems, including currency depreciation and ecosystem policy, as well as external concerns like global energy costs and geopolitical conflict. Furthermore, to address this, Turkey must stabilize the Turkish currency, implement conventional monetary policy, and guarantee central bank independence. Economy diversification and fiscal discipline is also important to increase import reliance and strengthen resilience. Turkey can regain stability and accomplish sustainable economic growth with the correct policy and plans. So that's all from our group. Thank you.